It is time for our third all-important map of Counter-Strike. Potter is back. She just got back here in time, which is great to see. And we're going to have Gambit and VP going head-to-head on Mirage after a nail-biter of a second map. We didn't really get it in the first one, Potter, but hey, Virtus.pro delivered.
It absolutely did, and it's good to see VP swinging back because that train was so one-sided. Sanji, he's made it to the server. We're still kind of starting to see James heating up as well, but this should be it. Mirage, completely an open map. AWPs should be wreaking havoc. I'm sure Shiro wants to have a better map, a better chance as well. So right off the bat, majority of the Gambit members are congregated towards this B, and it's only Buster.
Yeah, Buster in an awkward position as well. It's almost like they're setting up for a retake as opposed to anything else. He's just going to back away on catwalk. Oh, it's a nice tap, though. That'll do nicely for retake potential and possibilities. 2 flashes and a kit still in play. And our post plant falls upon them. No smokes, no flashes, and no HP for Exile. This plant is proving to be costly. They have good post-plant positions, though, from Inters, who's up close on the kitchen, but he decided to go aggressive. And that aggression will at least yield him 1 kill, but they needed more than 1, especially now as his teammates are being killed around him, leaving Shiro 1 on 4. He's already taken the head of Sanji, not too far off on the second. He'll be feeling disappointed, and Buster picks up a beautiful 4K. Keep in mind, it was Buster that was the only B defender, and it's gone full circle with him getting the last frag. What a great round.
Buster once again with 4 kills. He provided 4 kills on Vertigo's CT pistol. VP lost that round, though, this time. The kills proving too deadly. VP are able to make this retake happen. And Buster just looking crisp again. He's been Mr. Consistent for VP all along, no matter how VP have looked. Quick exchange of weapons there. And James, of course, AWP, second round AWP. In fact, Axel has that hero AK, though. We'll see what he can do with that.
Much in support. The rest of his teammates, Hobbit with the Deagle. Good flick from James, and that's the AK that has been sent reeling out of the round. They may be able to retrieve it, but it won't have that Kevlar element behind it now. And Shiro does get it done. AWP rings out multiple times from Tall Booth. That'll send a collective shiver down the spine of Gambit as James continues to tee off. Making sure that the rest of the angles are covered, that James won't get instantly pincered from Palace or potentially through ramp, but Gambit have actually got a snake in the grass. Nafani's making moves through kitchen. He could get the drop onto Sanjin at that stage. Is a very good opportunity to get a bomb plant down. But they need Nafani to show his hand. He's almost playing as this double anchor role where he can try and deal with any of the rotations. Now he spots Nafani from Sanji's positioning. He goes down, but Sanji actually stays alive with 2 health. How is that even possible? He should have been dead every day of the week, and he will live to tell the tale. Nafani, that is so brutal.
Oh, Nafani, he didn't want to keep spacing there, Vince. He wanted to stay near market, get the quick 1-taps, but the Glock fails him, the distance fails him. Sanji's able to react, and you know what? It looks really bad, but in all seriousness, it's not that bad. We're still 0-2 down. That was a save round for Gambit. They get a strong buy to follow. Nafani's only on that Deagle, and that pistol definitely failed him earlier, but it's all gravy. Shiro's got the AWP in his hands. It is a hero purchase. He's got no armor to back him up, but James going for the peak. He's hunting. Oh, what? That double scope was a fail. Kicker does get the trade, and Buster's there as well, though. That was awkward, Vince.
Oh, yeah. Definitely awkward. Definitely one of those situations that VP will feel pretty fortunate they come out of it somewhat ahead. Because after James whiffed his opportunity, I thought middle would just get completely crushed. Exile now, though, looking to try and get his first kill on the board of Mirage, but he gets denied by Sanji. He must have a Guardian Angel watching over him. After that last play, Shiro and Inters, 44 seconds, have control over the bomb, have a bit of utility. At least they may get the stealthy opportunity to push through here, but Sanji has the right idea. Tag Shiro, wings him on the approach. 30 seconds left. They have to bust out of the apps right now. They can't play slow any longer. They have to bridge the gap. Sanji just staying in position. He knows that Buster has him covered. And this is looking pretty much impossible for Gambit at this stage. Even if they do wide swing and deal with the threat of Sanji, there are multiple other CTs here laid in wait. The bomb's been spilled. There may be no more bloodshed that goes the way of VP. And Gambit concede for their third time in a row.
Sanji is just so good at not overstepping. At any point, if Gambit want to get a trade or want to get a pounce on the Sanji, they got to work hard for it. And not only that, they've got to be completely committed into the site in order to do it. So Sanji doing his job, making sure that B bomb site is on lockdown. And this is going to be a save coming up for Gambit. They got a lot of deagles. It's been deadly, but Yakindar, he's going to find a pick. He's got a secondary AWP in his hands. James got a good angle. This should be a DM sesh for him. The double scope failed him earlier in middle, but this time it's going to fail him again. It's okay. Kicker's there to back him up. Yakindar goes down, though.
Seems like just one of those days where every time James starts to change his angle, he gets pushed. Like the timing just always seems against him. Must be a very frustrating game. I suppose the fact that he's now been splattered won't help him at all. Hobbit down to 6, Inters down to 8. And now it's only Inters that remains, but he doesn't have the bomb. He can't just run across the B and get a free plant. He knows he has to come back on towards the A side of the map. And with no Kevlar or any weapons alongside it, he wants blood. But instead, he's on the receiving end of an AUG. 4-0. And after Gambit looked like they could have just had Vertigo going in their palm and taking this 2-0, now they're actually trailing. They haven't trailed at the start of either of these maps. They've been dominant throughout. So now we're going to have to see how they play from behind.
Yeah, it's definitely looked like an entirely different Gambit so far. It's still early days, though. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but the Gambit that we saw on map 1 and 2 was absolutely confident, decisive. It's a slow start so far. But Gambit do want to get some sort of sense of map control here. They're going for this mid. Hobbit is in lower B tunnels. He is working in tandem with Exile. And they do have 2 players top mid as well. VP look like they're okay with just giving this up, though. Right now, Buster, he's in ladder room. Oh, good timing. Hobbit caught with his nades out.
That's a rough start.
Buster. I felt like he deserved that. Shiro, good reaction. Buster just trying to find his timing, testing his luck even further. And he goes down, Vince.
He does, and that's exactly what Gambit needed. Had they have gone down 2 players again, I fear the worst. Their start, again, James' timing is so unlucky. He decides to turn around just as the shadow comes around the corner and he knows that he's about to be pounced on. Sanji, though, at least holds the line with the AUG, and Yakinda's been smoked out of position. Not that it really mattered. They planted a little bit shallower towards the palace. Sanji's AUG now opens back up. He knows one of the 2 is on the firebox, but that flash allows him to trade across to the other side of the site. Flash is coming out. Sanji is 8-1. He's been a man on a mission and sprays through the smoke, getting another one, but he goes down. It all comes down to Yakinda. He has a bit of utility and he has a kit and he has enough time to make a go of this one. And he has the AK now. He trades up to the AK, pummels the head off, switches back to the AWP and clutches the round in style.
VP will have a sigh of relief after that one. Holy moly, James just can't catch a break, man. This guy is just... He's scoped up, he's ready, but even then, he sees a shadow as he's trying to back away. Thankfully, they're able to recover. VP put the 5th round on the board, and finally a timeout does come. Gambit, these rounds have been close.
Big issue for me here though, Potter. You look at the kill tally on Gambit, one of their main players, their stars, Exile, he's 005. He's barely had anything to talk about in this map so far. I wouldn't be surprised if his ADR was very low on top of it. That is a real issue. He's one of the players that you're looking at from Gambit to shine brightest. So if he just continues to play this slowly, Gambit may not have many rounds to really play off come the second half. This is the time where they need to just awaken. Hopefully this timeout is the motivational push that they required.
If Ikindar's not careful, he's going to be exposed here. Some shots going off. Sanji's under a lot of pressure. It's a B hit. Buster's good for it. He does get traded out, though. Wait, they're not aware of Sanji? There he goes. He does get taken down. That's the B bomb site gone here.
Oh, better late than never. They get their hands onto a round. They finally convert an opportunity. Before the start of this round, Exile 14 ADR with no kills or assists.
Oof.
VP will be able to save these 2 guns. Gambit in no great shape to go hunting too hard, especially when they have an AWP. They have their assault rifles alongside it. So VP will have to taste defeat for the first time on Mirage. Let's see if Gambit can continue to press forward. I do worry a little bit though, Potter. I don't think B hits like that is something that you can really rely on to yield you 5 or 6 rounds come the second half. These are things that you assume VP will be able to adapt to. But at least it does give them a little bit of success to enjoy.
Especially considering what a boss Sanji has been. That round, it was a bit awkward. You saw there was a lull moment where he wasn't shooting, they weren't shooting. He thought he could be a ninja, but the jig was definitely up. This time, I don't know that the timing will be so much in the favor of Gambit. We'll see how Sanji reacts. But good signs for Gambit. Shiro has that AWP once again. And Exile, he's got to find his moment. He is lurking to this connector smoke. He goes very forward. He sees James. This is his moment. He's good for it. Kickard is hiding in the sandwich, biding his time. He gets traded out too, though. There's Gambit, the confident Gambit, completely just taking over this A site. That was instrumental coming out from Exile. I mean, just 14 ADR in this half, but the fact that he finds the timing and just completely outpaces James there. Huge stuff from Gambit. Buster, he's on survival business. I think he did hear this player in this upper B tunnel, but he's got to be wary of so many different angles here.
Especially with the importance of holding onto these 2 guns, you see very little finances will be forthcoming to VP, even with 2 rounds of loss bonus. So saving these 2 guns does give them something to play with into the next round. Oh no, Sanji's made some noise and Exil's going to punish him for that, surely. Exile will get the upper hand, the spray around the corner, and Sanji has played himself.
He wanted that op, Vince. He really wanted that op. Can't fault him for it. He tried. Was definitely not the right move to make in that instance, but Buster still has the gun in his hands at least.
For a bit of window aggression, they've got Buster up into the ladder room. You'll have a quick peek, and maybe if you can get this M4 down range and some headshots alongside it, things could get interesting. That's an AK that drops down. He's not sure as to the location of the rest of Gambit, so he can't go out there and try and trade up the AK. He's being careful instead, can definitely understand that decision-making. But in the meanwhile, although Gambit have conceded the first player, they're going to look to just barrel right outside of Ramp and Palace and take this round by the scruff of the neck. They must know that firepower-wise, they are light years ahead of their adversaries, and now all the grenades starting to fly their way to the choke points, the key areas of the A site. James hiding behind triple box has been found, snuffed out by Hobbit. And that leaves just Sanji 1 on 4. Does get the free drop onto the first, but that's where his kill streak will come to an abrupt end. That's Gambit with their 3rd in a row. They're actually starting to come back into this map.
Little by little, they're doing their due diligence as Gambit. Axile's starting to heat up as well. Some impact frags coming out for him, and just like that, he's back on the board. He's back in the game.
Great start by Kicker. Oh, straight down the throat of Gambit, getting them uncomfortable again, reminding them that at one point VP were running away with this half. They can't get too ahead of themselves. Sure, they've been on a good streak of rounds, but they still find themselves at a deficit. Yakinda taking a little bit of damage, courtesy of the Molotov. Doesn't really bother him too much, though. And Sanji can post up with the UMP. 3 players over here on B, throwing out the smoke. Sanji snaps into the head of Axile. And that smoke not only allows him to relocate with complete ease and safety, but it'll make Gambit think twice about exploding outside of the B ramp side. And I mean, Shiro gives it a try and he just gets destroyed. Virtus.pro, after losing 3 in a row, pretty straightforward rounds on Gambit, nearly get this one tied up flawlessly. They only lose Kicker in the process. That's great news.
Yeah, solid B hold. You saw the VP defense didn't even budge. Did not rotate whatsoever. 2 defenders still on that A. And a good start from Kicker. Early on mid-aggression. You can see the, excuse me, finances on Gambit are still A-okay. They get a very strong buy coming out. Yakindar, good moves. Going for some early peeks and he just catches a glimpse. He will have to fall back, take on a different angle. Oh, just barely misses.
James will be tested, will be pressured. So far he's passed. He needs to keep into a little bit of pressure because he knows the Kicker now is basically being dangled on the edge of a fishing rod, but he bites back. He bites back with authority, taking down kills alongside Buster and Savashi. They've held on again and only lose 1 player. I thought that the A site was about to crumble, but VP had other ideas.
It looked like it. It definitely looked like it. There was a moment there where there was a pause and all of a sudden VP just started peeking out and hitting all their shots. Gambit just kind of crumbled. They had the site, it seemed. But either way, this might be the last healthy buy for a little bit, at least for Gambit. Unless they get another bomb plant, which, again, they've been good for it. But everyone from Gambit is towards this A this time. No default. This looks like it's just going to be a set play. Kicker, jump spotting. It's been Buster, so Gambit should have a good idea of how this VPA defense is going to look.
Edging his way outside of ramp. Good grenade. Dunks onto Kicker, who then gets spammed down to 8 HP. He has to play very passively now. He can't afford to stay in position on CT side. Flashes are good. Yakinda tried to flick across, but Nafani was too quick. He pounces on top of Inter's flashbang assist. And I think VP already, with their lower players in terms of HP, they just have to pull the plug. They don't even want to go for this. They want to hold on to their 4 weapons. Understandably, they've got 2 AKs and an open play. Why throw them out?
Perfect answer coming through from Gambit. It's been Buster again, just jump spotting from that ticket. Gambit immediately identified that. You could see it in their movements. They just HE grenaded Kicker down, spammed through there. He was not able to get involved into the fight at all. And to add to the second layer, a pot flash into connector, completely bullying Yakindar. Could not get involved. A good look coming out from Gambit. Straight from the get-go as well. Nice and decisive.
tension swelling again. We saw this on Vertigo. It seemed like Gambit were about to run away with it. VP held on for dear life, and now with a 3-round advantage and a grand final spot up for grabs, both teams going at it blow for blow, round by round, kill by kill. It's going to be another A hit. Gambit has started to have a bit more success over on this side of the map, so why not keep pressuring until VP make the adjustments required? And maybe Jame and his AWP is all that was required in the end. Smoke down to extinguish the Molotov, but Hobbit is taking the initiative, pushing straight down towards jungle. Molotov behind it. He knows this angle will be covered. Spray through the smoke, decapitating through onto Jane, and cuts off any hope at a rotation play through Connector for the time being. And Hobbit is still here. He still hears footsteps left and right. So much intel's being gathered, and now Exile can execute off the back of that, forcing the 2 remaining CTs into awkward positions. Kickert, though, making the murder hole live up to its name, while Buster gets smacked from range of Exile on Connector. And that should be the round falling into place. And again, Gambit getting success over on A site.
Rinse and repeat, Vince. The same exact play coming through. And I cannot believe none of Nafani's bullets connected there. Jame had some incredible god armor. He was able to punish Nafani, but either way, Nafani gained so much space, so much ground. And the exact same play comes through and works.
I like that we're seeing a mix-up as well here from Gambit, maybe anticipating that VP would be a little bit more proactive on A. Looking to take middle control. Window already smoked off. Peering down Connector, making sure that there's no peeks from Buster or James AWPs. And a smoke on the CT side of Connector affords them more luxuries, and they instantly wrap all the way around back over onto the A side of the map. Now, this call could end up being their undoing. Because as we can see, Potter, VP have actually still got 3 players over here, 2 of which are up close.
Yeah, they're playing very close up to the Palace and A-ramp area. They don't want to get pounced on again. Buster's got the long lines. Replenishing this smoke should give Kicker some room to be real creative. Gambit, again, looking like they want to do this A pounce. Flash comes through. No one's blind but Kicker. A little bit of a whiff. Yakindar, though, he's good for it. Buster even answering back, and here it is. This is the answer VP needed. Buster stopping Gambit in their tracks. Hobbit, last man alive. Bomb is down. He's got plenty of time to work with, but VP are everywhere right now.
Mate, Kicker owes Yakinda and Buster both a beer after this round, because that whiff on ramp could have cost them so dearly. But fortunately, there's a full house of frags in. They lock it down. 8-5 the score. This time A site is not open for business. This time VP have it on lock.
Good answer coming from VP. You identified it right off the bat there, Vince. They changed it up, went up close. We're not willing to just give up A for free this time. Gambit are changing things up immediately. All 5 here towards this B, testing Sanji once again. And last time, Gambit actually were able to get through because Sanji, the timing wasn't in his favor, but this time he gets the spot, drops the smoke. Kickert is blind, but VP, their defenses should hold here. Nafani, what the heck happened?
I think he ran into his own Molotov. I think his Molotov finished him off. He was super low. Shiro, though, is still trying to put this back into some realm of possibility. Spray between the 2 CTs, and VP take a 9-5 lead. Gambit, they had their mini comeback, but it seems like that has been well and truly remedied now. The curse has been lifted, and VP are back into dominant ways. Yeah, Nafani just dropped down into the Molotov. That was actually kind of strange. He knew what was happening, right?
I think he just misplayed the timing in his own head. I assume he imagined that the flames would be going out sooner than it did. Unlucky, bad timing for him. And this is the last round, Vince. Gambit, they're broke. Just a few pistols and 2 Galils. This time it's Jame. Buster did fantastic work last time here, and Jame, he's good for it. He does get dinked, though, but it's not going to count for much. Gambit are unable to get the space they need. Here comes the utility. Juicy grenade.
It's a big nade, isn't it? Slows them down, softens them up. Yakinda and Kickert will clean up the rest. It's looking good for VP to lead at halftime. And they could be doubling Gambit, barring an Exile miracle. A 1v5 clutch with 49 HP. No control over the bomb. It's not going to happen. He can only thread one headshot. VP on the fast track to the grand finals. We'll find out soon if they can convert.
Christmas is sooner, summer sooner than you think. Yeah, baby, it will be here in a blink. Well, Christmas is sooner than you think. Decorate your house with the lights. This Christmas cars to light. Buy yourself a Christmas tree. Mistletoe for you and me, baby. Christmas is sooner, so much sooner, sooner than you think. So let the snow fall white, so say the stars is white, and let the Christmas spirit ring in the ocean of our finest thing, baby. Christmas is sooner, so much sooner than you think. Oh, right now, it'll be here in a blink. Christmas sooner than you think. Oh, sooner than you think. Sooner than you think. Oh, yes it is. Let me tell you, Merry Christmas. Sooner than you think. Oh, yes it is.
They may have taken the long and windy road, but VP are on course to pretty much get across the finish line. Many would have expected them to not only get to the grand finals, but to win the whole thing. And they're 6 rounds away now, Potter. But Gambit will be coming through on the CT side, and they're no slouches. They can definitely pull this back.
Absolutely. Buster's been a boss on Pistol 2. That P250 armor in his hands. Kickert is going to start things off quick. Run and gun Glock enters had no chance. He's already wiped off the map. And VP, they're going to be okay with that. Just take a pause. You see Buster, he's on the other side of the map towards A. Gonna allow Gambit to just start sweating it out. The guessing game begins. A flashbang and a smoke still in Sanji's possession. Buster might look to just Late lurk towards Cat and this B pop. It's going to come through. 3 defenders of Gambit still at B, though.
Yeah, when the roles were reversed, remember it was Buster that picked up a 4K basically alone. Gambit have 2 additional plays. Buster goes out instantly decapitated by Hobbit that executes him down. And maybe allows them to put their feet into the ground and stand tall and deliver. Nafani, Shiro, Axel all chipping in for kills, but now James going to try and turn it back around. Gambit saying no. Second pistol goes their way. They're right back in it.
Impressive B-hold. That looked like VP had everything going in their favor. Kicker starting things off with such an incredibly fast opening. But the shots deliver. The 3-man stack delivers. Buster decided to go back towards A and try his hand, and he just got laid out by Hobbit as well, so... Strong stuff. Kicker just drawing out the grenades. And Yukindar's gonna eat one. Tiny little dink. This Glock is actually delivering, doing a lot of dinks.
It feels bad when you hear the animation or the sound cue of a dink and you see the animation and it's like, oh, I've done 5 damage. Brilliant. Good old Glocks. I do like, though, that VP have at least tried to feel out multiple angles of the map, because even in rounds like this where you have full Glocks, you can at least force the CTs to use a lot of utility, and they've done just that. There's only a flashbang left. That all adds up. That's $2,000 or $3,000 worth of utility now that needs to be replenished into the next round. So even though VP unlikely to really get any kills or obviously not win the round, this dude still doing their little bits here and there. They're still at least making this a little bit more costly than Gambit would have liked.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And even though these Glocks aren't getting the kills, we talked about those dinks. Those are little tiny messages, Vince. Those are little messages like, hey, back up, man. You better respect me. Even my Glock might F you up. So, message received. Buster does go down. This boost, the timing is everything. Nafani, though, he is going to check it. But if Kicker can draw his attention over, maybe they can find something. And there it is. These Glocks once again. I mean, this flank from Inters is everything, but a lot of different things could have occurred. There was a lot of damage being exchanged here.
Yeah, no doubt. Just one death, but that is at least Kevlar and an extra weapon that needs to be replenished, plus all those grenades we talked about before. And I agree. You know, if you're constantly getting your head just rattled by Glocks, it's like, geez, their aim's on point. You know, I can actually start to get in the back of your heads. And you think, well, what's going to happen when they've got the AKs? Well, Gambit, you're about to find out, because that's exactly what VP are coming into round 18 with.
Kindar very aggressive. Gonna start the lurk in this smoke. Nafani's got to be real careful, and he gets caught out. Yukindar just at the edge of that smoke. He will eat a little bit of the grenade, but Yukindar's feeling good. He's just taking over this mid. James is there to back him up as well. And again, just like on that pistol, the early pick, it's in VP's ball court right now. They find it. And they just slow everything down.
Bomb back at spawn. Jane will be ebbing back over onto that side of the map to go retrieve it. Axile, the timing. Oh, Yukinda still spins around and takes his head off. I thought Axel had that. The angle that Yukinda was coming through always felt like he was second favorite. With Gambit already taking 2 early casualties and Yukinda using the smoke and the timing to press outside of Murder Hole, this gives them so many avenues back onto the site. However, he gift wraps his life across the Hobbit, who will now spring into action via CT boxes, but he is all alone. His teammates are over on B. He's had a great best of 3 series. This would be the cherry on top if he could somehow steer this away from the rock. Somehow save this round. Try to deny the bomb plant, but instead it's his life that's deemed forfeit. And VP, they'll strike again.
That's that young aim coming in from Yukindar. Nice adjustment to get that. I'm on your side, Vince. I thought for sure he's a dead man. Axel definitely looked like he had the pounce. This is a good look for VP. I do gotta say though, I thought that Yakindar going so early in CT spawn, and then that A hit coming in so late, that was another opportunity for Gambit to find their way back into the round. But VP, they do make it work. That spray coming in from Hobbit, not connecting at all. Definitely kind of sealed the deal for VP here. Either way, strong stuff for VP. 11 on the board now. Yakindar, so aggressive early on. Whew.
4-round lead opens up MP9 and a couple of FAMASs. They do afford an AWP in the hands of Shiro, and there's a gap in the smoke that he can maybe exploit. But Yakinda, realizing he's a bit vulnerable, wants to just use the top boxes as a bit of cover. Still eats a bit of shrapnel damage, 21 in total. VP elsewhere, and now maneuvering their way through the T-spawn towards Ramp and Palace again. They have the underpass play in the form of Sanji. And Yakinda still perched at the top of middle. So they're really splitting across Gambit and splitting the head of Nafani clear open. VP in pole position again to put down the pain, to put down the misery. And the spray on the back actually not good enough to yield the frag. Costs them dearly with Shiro doubling up.
They know where Shiro is. They're spamming him, but he's good for it. Shiro is popping off right now, Vince. He does get taken down by Yakindar eventually. They know Hobbit is really low in Palace. And even though VP are a man down right now, Hobbit is kind of neutered in his position. James just kind of waiting for the flank. It's just come down to a standstill here now, Vince.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, though. They slowed it down to see how Gambit would respond. Would they catch one of these players in transition? Could they put it back into a 2-on-2? Play the mind games. And it has been successful. Even though they're not sure if Hobbit is still up in Palace, they've isolated this into effectively a 1v2 if Hobbit peaks. That's why he's not bothering. He's keeping this angle available. He's keeping intel for his teammates. All he has to do right now is survive. He doesn't even need to get a frag. Call will come out. One player is in jungle and the other, he may have heard footsteps on ramp. That is valuable intel for Gambit to now play off the back of, but it's down to whether Yakinda can thread a couple of headshots. There's the first. Perfect crosshair placement, but Axel on the approach gets him done. Hobbit jumping mid-air, gets suppressed by James, and I don't think Axel can get this done. The time is going to be so low, even if he can get across to the site, he's got no room for error. He's put the smoke down. James is spraying all around the ball. Maybe he can get it. Gambit get the defuse and take James down in the process. Insult to injury.
How did James not have a clue where the bomb was planted? He planted it. Oh no, James losing track of where the bomb was. And Hobbit, I thought honestly he just completely threw that round. Really overambitious, the jumping out retake, but holy moly, the ninja defuse comes through, and thankfully for Gambit, they're able to convert. Shiro did so much work to make that round a possibility for Gambit. Dang, just coming down to the wire.
Aggressive aggression by Yakinda and Nafani as well. The two of them doing battle time after time. As are these two teams still standing up against each other. And you know, if Gambit do come back into this matchup and they do end up being victorious, you go back to that moment. You go back to where VP let it slip, and maybe that was the integral point, but the fulcrum point perhaps not quite finding its way in Gambit's hands because they are being forced out of position even while fully flashed. Nafani takes down Yakinda. The post plant comes into effect though. Good smokes have been dispersed and forced the CTs on the back foot. There is a rotation coming out from Inters, which nearly caught James in transition, but now James will join the rest of the troops over on ramp. Sanji, in the meanwhile, also playing this interference, hiding down in underpass, knowing that his players are ahead by one. He doesn't have to snap into position just yet. I don't think Gambit want any part of this. They thought about it. This does put Nafani in a horrible spot, mind you. He may not be able to hold on to this weapon after all because he has to push back out. And this is where Sanji could definitely pounce on top of him. The round has gone the way of VP. That much is guaranteed. But will he survive? Nafani's making tons of noise. Footsteps heard in connector, but Sanji doesn't care. He's happy to take the 4-round lead instead.
Yeah, actually, you know, the bomb noise, I don't know if Sanji heard that. I bet if he did, he would have wanted to go for that frag. I'm just speculating at this point, but man, I'm still shocked from the previous round right now. But VP, that round, they just really let loose. The frags happened fast and quick across the entire map, and a pretty dominant turn of events for VP considering. They don't want to let that ninja defuse go unanswered here.
I suppose that could also act as confidence as well, though, Potter. They're like, listen, it's 12-8. Let's be honest, it should be 13-7. And in that case, we've been pretty dominant so far on our T half. I just put that to the back of our minds. They snuck one out on us. It sucks, but that's life. Sometimes it happens. We're still so far ahead of them. Their economy's on the precipice of complete collapse, complete turmoil, but Axel doesn't care about that. His M4's going to do the talking for him. Meanwhile, though, VP are pushing the envelope. They're pushing the aggression down on B. Axel now turns his attention via catwalk onto Sanji. He's picked up 2. He's done his job. He needs the rest of his team now to follow suit. 2 of them have already rotated into position on site, but James Orp comes good and secures the frag onto Inters. Nafani making moves, just narrowly misses out the timing window for the opportunity of the frag, but they pull off the bomb as Nafani and Shiro both silence them, and Gambit get back into winning ways.
Damn, Exile did so much work that round. Initially finding that quick frag onto Yakindar, perfect flashbangs as well coming through to help him out, then just quickly turning around and doing work to hold down this B. Even does a shitload of damage onto Kickert there as well. Strong B defense coming through for Gambit. And man, VP's money is tight. Gambit are almost there to really equalize this entire game, perhaps, if they're able to convert this one. They're starting to heat up.
And that slow burn is starting to come into effect. Warmed up aim on the battlefield. They've had their second wind. Adrenaline surging, spiking, knowing that grand finals on the line. A chance to defend their title. They won November. You have a chance of battling straight back, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Both teams' economy hangs by the thinnest of threads. They know this could turn into a 2-for-1 round. Hobbit with the MP9 spray comes out second best against Kickert's AK-47, and just before that, Yakinda put the Deagle to use. Shiro and Inters have to weather this storm, just the 2 of them, stacked up against the world of VP. 40 seconds to repel the push, and the push will be forthcoming on A. Shiro second guesses himself. He goes away from CT boxes, which mounts all the pressure on Inters, and now Shiro's too late. He can't deny the plant. He can't really deny any of these lives either. He's taking his shot, and he's punished by Buster on the wide swing. And Gambit's economy is in absolute turmoil.
Shambles, Vince, shambles. Gambit were absolutely posturing for this comeback. It could have gone either way. But now their economy is broken. VP look to put a dominant stamp. Just USPs coming through into this round. And VP, once again, all the frags are happening all across the board. They're winning their A-ramp duel. They're winning this middle duel.
Oh, Potter, this is too intense. I would assume that Gambit will call a tactical timeout going into the next one, as they will have a solid enough buy, but at that stage, they're eyeing up a very realistic 14-9 scoreline against them. Well, they'll have pretty much no extra lifelines. Yakinda, due diligence is enforced, checking all of his angles. They're walking into the stack side of A. But some of Gambit are getting there late. They're using that smoke as a bit of cover. Bit of a screen that's been put across, but Kickert smashes it wide open with the AK. James just headshotted Kickert. What the hell just happened there? Getting in each other's way, and now the USPs are starting to land some headshots. This is getting way too dangerous.
Whoa.
James just about holds on with 19 HP, but Jesus, James, you can see head in hands. He realizes, at least he can laugh it off, partner, but I think he realized he nearly completely screwed that up.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you just gotta tell your teammate to get the F out of your way. But jokes aside, man, that got so close. Just the USPs that should gain some confidence for Gambit. They're hitting their shots, and it really hasn't been a matter of firepower that's been the question for Gambit here. Although this middle and this A ramp, it has been an issue. And with Shiro just going down to that scout. When VP had their answer, it was 2 members going close up onto the A ramp and onto the palace. So far, Gambit have had that retake A look with a member on ticket booth, and I am curious what their answer is going to be coming into this one. Looks like it's going to be all middle. Aggression coming out from Nafani. He was good for it last time, waiting for that flash. No one's blind though. Sanji punishes him for it. He eats a little bit of a nade, but not really. He'll take that. He'll take that all day.
Little battle scar you can show off later on. A bar afterwards, after what's looking like a victory, is coming to fruition. VP's form ripening just at the right moment. And Gambit now with 3 players, including a scout on Shiro, and only a flash between the 3 of them and no kits to play with. Have to try and pick a site, stack together, and get a little bit fortune going in their way. VP throwing away weapons, making sure that Gambit will have as little to play with as possible. But I also like that they're stalling this one down, Potter. They're increasing the chances that they kill everybody from Gambit on their way out of this round. They check all these angles, make sure they don't walk into a trap. Big fan of this, but at some stage they will have to be a bit more aggressive. Otherwise, they do run the risk of pushing into a site with 15, 20 seconds. And hold the phone for a second. They could be walking into the trap of Inters. He's got the off angle for Connector. The bomb's been dropped down. And VP may be a little bit too slow. They had the player in ramp, but they did nothing with him, and now Shiro can crack off a couple of shots. He's doing damage. Inter's still doing damage as well, and Hobbit shows his hand in sandwich. Kickert needs the clutch of 1v3. Spins around for 2, but he's been tagged down to 7 HP. He has enough time to fake the bomb and try and draw Shiro out into the open, but Shiro's having none of it. Shiro stays in position. Kickert goes for the full plant. Shiro goes for the peek and takes him with the USP. VP played themselves out the round.
Wow, just getting baited into that setup. All 3 members of Gambit's defense were stacked towards that A. Hobbit in that closet sandwich area did so much work. Kicker, this spray transfer was disgusting. So much skill, so much talent. It's coming down to the wire. Vince, Gambit, they're fighting back. Shiro, he now has an AWP. That scout did not work out for him last round. But again, full investments for both squads. Money is low. Sanji finds a Nafani looking the wrong way. There's another member trying to force the issue. He is able to get the trade. Axel does work. That's going to do wonders. Jane will pick up this Galil. And at least that equalizes things.
It's very even keel, because even though superior rifles fall away of VP, they don't have the AWP, which is under Shiro's possession. Exile aggressively taking some BAP's control.
Oh.
And James knows it. He actually throws in the Molotov. That's going to extend. Exile could just die to that molly. He's been smacked down to 37. Tries to run away. How's James not killed him? Exile survives with 10 HP to his name. And James might be able to go into too overextended position and die, but take Shiro. What am I witnessing here, Potter? I can't believe it.
That was almost wild. James almost got baited into that shot. Shiro needed to make that one land. Hobbit, also, the jig is up. He gets caught out. This round is falling apart for Gambit. What looked like what could have been incredible. James letting something slip by like that. should have punished him, but man, VP are lucky in this round.
I thought James had bit off more than he could chew, trying to charge down Axile after whiffing so many shots, and that we're going to see Shiro just pummeling with the AWP. It would be a chance back into the round. Intis does deal with the threat of Buster, and an Incendiary will at least keep that secondary player at bay. Maybe he can trade up the AK for the end of the round, but this will be Virtus.pro with 5 match points, 5 grand final points, with Saw waiting to face off against them tomorrow in a best of 5. Axel misses his shot, but it won't cost him his life, and so at least Gambit have something to play with. But 5 chances for VP.
Whew, these rounds have been looking dominant for VP so far. If I can remember the one round that Gambit were actually able to win, it was when Exile was able to find those picks in mid early on with that A1. He just has the deagle. Shiro has the AWP right now. He hasn't been quite as loud in this server as he was in that first map.
Some damage done. All the chips on the table. Gambit going all in. Nafani has gone in for a frag, but gets traded out courtesy of Yakinda onto Axile. Damage inflicted to Yakinda, who's typically been playing at the top box. He's had a lot of success here. Statistically, not exactly setting the world alight, but he's been keeping Gambit honest. And as they push towards Connector with 3 players, Nafani is here in a different angle they've not really used too many times. It's a one and done. That may not be good enough for Gambit, and that could force away Gambit into awkward positions, but Hobbit takes the initiative, playing up close with the CZ. Still time though, Potter. They could rotate over on B if they so chose.
Coming down to the wire once again, 40 seconds, 3 versus 3. James got the bomb on his back at top mid right now. And I think they're going to wait for kickers, see if he can't get something going for himself, but this will have to end at A.
Been here before though, where VP take too long. They push through in an awkward position. Hobbit's been spotted. He doesn't have to repeat just yet. Buster trying to bodyguard. Kicker successfully fends off Shiro, who is nosing around at CT boxes. Hobbit puts the bullet into the head of the CZ round the corner. And now Inters is the last man standing. The last hope. The last safeguard that Gambit can really rally behind. And he has Buster and James to fend off against. They're in good post-plant positions. He has a kit but no smoke and no flashes to really work off, and James puts him out of his misery. After losing the first map, VP come back and they secure their spot in the grand finals.
Wow, I was worried, Vince. I was worried. That first map, Gambit looked so damn dominant. Such a huge landslide of a scoreline as well. But VP, they answered back. Vertigo looked so doubtful as well. I mean, Gambit, they had every answer. But VP, that experience shining through, the individual shining through, Buster, Sanji, James even showing up at the end. Everything connecting, finally, for VP.
We have our 2 teams in the grand finals. We'll cut to a break, and afterwards they'll break down what was a really enjoyable best of 3.
Welcome back. It was a complete turnaround from Virtus.pro, a close map that ended in their favor. And Blair, it was one that, well, you pretty much said it about 15 times. Like, we have a game. But each time it seemed that Gambit got back into things, it just looked like VP shut them down.
Yeah, Mirage, they finally woke up. We saw some moments from the side of Gambit, like this particular round, for example, but it was the individuals popping off, having some moments. But for the side of VP, this finally seemed like they had plugged in their keyboards and mice, playing like the team we expected to play. And for Gambit, man, they're a couple of rounds in Vertigo, they're going to be having nightmares about that. They could have closed out 2-0, but VP, that's what they say, you know? Don't poke a sleeping bear.
Well, he's very quick to get in for the interview. It's going to be Yakinda joining us once again. I'm sure he's getting sick of looking at Maui's face, at least. He's seen it so many times the last month or so. But congratulations on the win. But first map, what on earth happened, VP? You just didn't seem to be there at all.
Hello. Well, I mean, whatever. We won the game in the end. I mean, train was harsh because, I don't know, just didn't work out. They were out shooting us everywhere, and then we started being nervous a bit because we lost to Gambit 3 times already, and we didn't want it to be the 4th time. And yeah, we just said whatever, okay, train. We started T side. They started rolling. Whatever. It's Vertigo. We're not that bad in Vertigo, so yeah, we just focused on the next 2 maps.
Okay, firstly, congrats for winning, Yakinda. Heading into the finals, you're going to be facing a team where we didn't expect to see. I don't think many people did, apart from maybe their fans. Saw they've managed to qualify. They've beaten Forza. They've beaten, I believe, Espada as well. What's your what are you expecting? It's going to be best of 5 finals here. You are the favorites, but it seems like it's a tournament where there have been a few upsets. So what's your mentality, so to speak, going into the finals tomorrow?
Well, I mean, previously when we played Saw, they weren't that strong, but actually, for example, I watched the game against Force, the semi-final, and they were playing really confident, hitting their shots. They're in a good individual form, and I believe in these 2 months they improved a lot. So we want a good game, and I hope it's gonna be a good one. It doesn't matter who wins, who loses, but we will try to win, of course. And yeah.
All right.
Yakinda, congrats on making it to the finals, of course. Defeated Gambit. I know that probably meant something to you guys. But I want to talk about Vertigo just a little bit, because you guys were down 6-2. It felt like, oh man, just VP didn't wake up today. But when did the switch flip, and maybe why do you think it did?
Well, I mean, we didn't want our last game of the season to end on second map of Vertigo and losing in the semi-final of DreamHack, so we just tried to somehow refresh a bit. We started doing stuff that we didn't plan to do, so we started playing more aggressive towards ramp, and then playing more aggressive towards when we left ramp, so we didn't allow them to play their game. We tried to somehow get them off of their own game, because they were rolling on train and they were hyped up and motivated to win. So we just changed things a bit, and it worked out.
Well, Yakinda, it is always a pleasure to talk to you. We may get to see you again tomorrow, depending on whether or not it's your kicker who comes in. Maybe you could send one of the others in. I don't know what the English level is like, or maybe we can get a few of you at once. But we will see. Obviously, best of luck when it comes to the grand final. And I'm looking forward to it. I think Saw might give you a challenge.
I hope so. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely not maybe the dominant showing that we would have wanted to see, especially in that first map. But again, I always like to see that sort of resilience, Maui, and also potentially even the depth that we've seen from them. I know that many people have spoken about Sanji in the past, and I believe you're about to do the same. Would you call this man underrated?
Yeah, you have to call him underrated. He's just he's never the guy he's rarely at least the guy that shows up on the scoreboard. He's just the guy that's dropping guns, making sure everything is going well for the side of VP, just kind of the glue guy in a lot of situations. But he showed up today, and as we can see here, top fragging for his team, actually, and across the series, he actually was their highest ADR player with 84 throughout the BO3. So very good day for Sanji, and that's not something you can always say. It's usually the players like Yakinda, the players like James that are lighting it up, and little shout out to Buster as well, because Buster was really on top of things as well. Good stuff from him. I feel like he also flies under the radar at times, but this VP team, it just has so much depth, so many weapons, and no matter who is challenged in the early round, any of them can hold their own against any level of competition.
Well, it's funny you should actually mention Buster, because we're now going to move into our top 5 plays of the day, and I believe, Blair, that he might actually be the man kicking things off.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it has to be that USP play. This was sick. Okay, check out the first kill. Midair, calm, composed, just clean taps coming out from him, and each and every one of the shots is just beautifully done. Almost Nico-esque, some people might say. And I do believe he didn't even take a single point of damage, Maui. That's sick.
He actually just got to buy an op in the next round because he was able to keep his armor, but we'll move on to number 4 here. Yeah, of course. Muter is here with this 4K B hold, and this is him catching 4s off guard completely. Very good smoke timing from him and his teammate, and he's able to just do so much damage because of it. They really look good in that map.
So we saw one Buster pistol round. Why not a second Buster pistol round? It seems like he's just bringing these home for VP and some crispy, clean taps that Blair might be enjoying a little bit too much, but you know, at the end of the day, it's
oh my god,
some pretty sick.
The final kill,
that last one.
Come on, that made me feel special. Axel spinning around like a turret into the AK-47, just shutting it down. This was just such a great map coming out from everyone from the side of Gambit, but Axel really stepping it up and showing that he can frag just alongside Hobbit.
Yeah, and here's the number 1 play of the day. It's Inters shutting it down here at B. This was a desperate, dire situation, and his team absolutely needed this one. They couldn't quite close the map out, but Inters made it very competitive here. Just great spray control, and overall, very good round from him. And honestly, I'm a little surprised Gambit didn't walk away with the W today.
Yeah, for sure. It was very, very close when it came to map number 2. Of course, it almost seemed like things slipped away from them. Now, when it comes to our player of the day, I think this is probably the closest one we've had. There were mentions of the likes of Roman because of his previous earlier series, but we settled on Sanji, mainly because it was a standout performance from someone that we might not necessarily expect to be right up the top of the board. He performed very, very well across the series, and in fact, especially on Mirage, Maui, I feel like he had some of the most impact frags we'd seen.
Yeah, locking down his position at B was crucial because it definitely looked like it was within the Gambit's game plan to target him multiple times at this bomb site. So he really recovered a lot of situations for them and just was all around exactly what you want from your B anchor. Just super reliable, very dependable.
Yeah, I mean, considering they were targeting him all the time, and as the saying goes, you come with the king, you best not miss. Unfortunately, if you'd have missed a few of the shots, and Sanji punished him for it. Highly underrated. And it's good to see, like, the fact that they're able to win this, especially this map as well, crucial map in Mirage, we had a kind of a quiet game from Yakinder, right? Train was non-existent, and Decider map, he didn't really have too much of an impact. When you have your most underrated player being so consistent and so reliable, what else do you want in life?
Oh yeah, and some other people who we might consider as very underrated are the people who have brought us this fantastic tournament. It is going to be Intel, MSI, Corsair, and Monster Energy who make all of this possible. A Christmas miracle, you could say, managing to make all of this happen. And well, that leaves us right to the end of today. And also, more importantly, our grand final coming up tomorrow. This may have been considered a CIS Open, but we've ended with the Portuguese and a Spaniard looking to try and take on the CIS final boss. VP will be facing off against Saw tomorrow, and of course this is how we got there. Again, some surprises along the way, but I feel like that happened in the groups, and now we have got the grand final we expected. Luckily, these two lovely gentlemen are going to be joining me tomorrow. I've heard rumors that Blair might even wear a Christmas jumper, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've still got one more sleep till Christmas, till the finals, and we will see you then tomorrow.